Good morning. My name is Brent Sellers. I'm Extension Weed Specialist and also the Director here at the Center. In fact, I just celebrated my 5th year anniversary of being the Center Director, and it's amazing it's gone by that quickly. Been through a lot. As you know, we actually scheduled this field day for last fall, but thanks to Hurricane Milton, we delayed that until today. So thank you for staying with us and coming back for today. I'd like to introduce some of our special guests that are here today. Some of them don't know that I'm going to introduce them, so they might be surprised, but our Associate Vice President of Communications, Chris Vivian, is here today. From the Dean of Research Office, Jerry Fankhauser is also our Associate Director of the Florida Ag Experiment Station and Executive Director of Facilities Planning and Operations. From the Dean of Extension Office, our Forage Agronomist in Gainesville, Marcello Wallau, is an Associate Program Leader for Agriculture. And one of our newest directors for our Analytical Service Laboratories, Franta Mice, is here. And two people that showed up today that are really important for our center, because they help us with all of our grants in our pre-award, and they do a tremendous amount of work for us. You have no idea how much they do for us. So Jennifer Jett and Shana Couch, thank you for coming today. I'd also like to recognize the current Florida Cattlemen Association President, Dale Carlton, for being here. And our advisory council members that are here, Jim Self, Carrie Lightsey, Cliff Coddington, and Mike Adams, I believe, will be here shortly. Also like to recognize county faculty that are here today: Allie Williams, Krista Kirby, Sonia Crawford, Lindsay Crum is on her way, Laura Bennett, Allie Bastion. And I think that's it. If I've missed anybody, I apologize, but I haven't seen everybody yet this morning. I'd also like to recognize retirees. So Dr. Paul Mislevy is here, former forage agronomist here at the center. And our former farm manager, Dennis Collick, also made the trip over from Bradenton this morning. So thank you for coming. I know many of you know that we do research that's very important to the cattle industry at the center. And, traditionally, it was very difficult to fund research that was important to this industry. Thankfully, the Florida Cattle Enhancement Board came along, and the research priorities that the Cattlemen's Association has put forth has really helped drive the research here at the center. And without that Florida Cattle Enhancement Board, it would be really difficult to do the work that we need to do to help the cattle industry. So let's thank the Florida Cattle Enhancement Board for their support. Just some more thank yous. Andrea Dunlap, she is the one that puts everything together, tells everybody what they're going to do for today. I mean, she just does an amazing job, so thank you, Andrea, for all of your hard work. But also thank you to the faculty, staff, and students here that listen to Andrea when she asks you to do things. I'd also like to thank the Manatee County Cattlemen's Association for letting us use their chairs and their tables for today. But maybe more importantly, the Cloverleaf Foundation of Hardy County, because they're the ones that are preparing our meal. So thank you, Manatee County Cattlemen's and the Cloverleaf Foundation. Next, I'd like to introduce our MC for today, Allie Williams. Allie is the Small Farms and Alternative Enterprise Extension Agent in Hillsborough County. She earned her bachelor's degree in agriculture with a concentration in livestock production from Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College in Tifton before returning to her hometown of Lakeland. She completed her master's degree in Ag Ed and Communication from UF, and since joining UF IFAS Extension 2021, she has focused her efforts in livestock production, small farm management, and agricultural business management. Thank you, Allie, for helping us today with our program.
Good morning. Before we get started on our morning's program, I want to take a moment and thank our generous sponsors who made today's event possible. We are going to recognize sponsors throughout the morning, but we'll start by giving a big thank you to our platinum sponsors for their outstanding support. So we have Aligar Range and Pasture, Arcadia Stockyard, Deseret Cattle and Citrus, Corteva Agriscience, Farm Credit of Florida, Precision Agricultural Services, and Westway Feed Products. Let's give them a round of applause for their contribution to this event. To kick things off this morning, we are going to hear our IFAS updates. So first, I'll call up Mr. Jerry Fankhauser. He is the Associate Director of the Florida Agricultural Experiment Station in Gainesville.
Good morning. Thank you, Allie. I don't know how much of an update I'm going to give. I thought about all that's happening in IFAS, and Dr. Angle does such a great job with that. But I thought I would center on a theme, and I'll get to that really quickly. But again, on behalf of Senior Vice President Dr. Scott Angle and my boss, Dr. Rob Gilbert, Executive Director for Academic Affairs, Dean of Research up on campus, IFAS, welcome to the Range Cattle Field Day. As you all know or sense, IFAS is a large land-grant institution, a huge enterprise. You could take the colleges of agriculture at Cornell and NC State, combine them, and probably still not hit the faculty head count that we have in IFAS. So because of all these moving parts in IFAS, we have people like Scott Angle and Rob Gilbert that are somewhere else today doing great things. The good news for me is I love coming to Range Cattle. It reminds me of one of the research centers in southern Indiana that I spent years getting down to. So certainly enjoy being here. My theme today is change, all about change. When you think about the changes that maybe some of the students have endured, I know the faculty and staff here with Milton, and thinking back to September 28, 2022, everybody knows that date probably out here. That's when Hurricane Ian made its presence known and devastated this area in terms of high winds, flooding. In fact, most of you would have wet feet where you're sitting now if you were here on September 29th of 2022. Very devastating. I can't recollect how many millions of dollars of damage IFAS incurred, but what I do remember is all the staff, students, and faculty that did all they could to bring this place back up and operational post-storm. Couldn't even hardly get to the center because of the flooded roads, including out on Goose Pond here. So it was a real challenge, but like we do in IFAS, we worked together. We brought crews down from Gainesville immediately. The staff, Andrea Dunlap, everybody worked hard, again, to get the students back to their coursework, get back in the pastures, get to the cattle. And so changes will happen, and that's how they responded. Changes in industry. I don't need to tell you all that are involved in the Florida Cattle Association, you've had some major changes. Jim Hanley, Executive Vice President for so many years, recently announced his retirement, and that led to a monumental change. But change can be good moving forward. It can be exciting. And just yesterday I read where Dusty Holly started his position, taking on many, if not all, those same roles. So again, it's about how we embrace change. There's change here at Range Cattle Research and Education Center. I'm not fond of saying howdy, but I think Dr. Joe Vendermini will become much more accustomed to that because both Joe and Dr. Maria Silvera will be departing soon for new career paths. But I'm sure a part of them and their hearts will remain in Southwest Florida here at the Range Cattle Research and Education Center. So change is before them and their daughters and their work life, and we embrace that change, although I do not want to see anyone else go to Texas A&M for a position. So followed closely by the University of Georgia, right? Let's keep our good people down here. There's been change in my life too. I was really running what I thought was relatively smoothly as an associate director of the experiment station, a job that I did for 17 years up north at another land-grant institution that both Brent Sellers and I graduated from, and now I'm entering close to my 8th year with IFAS. But last October, Dr. Gina Mastro de Casa, and many of you know Gina, or knew her, moved to the provost office to assume the position of assistant provost for the university. Great opportunity for her. Come to find out, 2 days later, I was asked to take that great opportunity to take 30% of her previous position as director of facilities. I'm still trying to figure out what 30% I'm going to give up on my previous job, so maybe I'm just working 130% right now. But I'm enjoying it. It does give me the opportunity to get to our research and education centers and sites and to do all I can to facilitate mission work at these locations, and now also more so on campus. To see the success of the graduate students, and if you look at these posters, if you talk to these students, you'll hear the great work they're doing and all their coursework they're able to get either in person or virtually up on the Gainesville campus. It is going to lead to great changes for them moving forward. When you think about the new federal administration, there's some changes there too. And some of those are challenging. We're trying to decipher, understand what the funding landscape's going to look like for our faculty and others, especially in such a large and successful land-grant institution like IFAS. And we're going to embrace those changes. We're going to have to deal with them. And even with some of the unsettling changes that you may read about when it comes to facilities and administrative costs, IDC as we call it down here in the South, in IFAS, there's also been some interesting opportunities that have opened up that may lead to more funding from the federal government. So it is about how you approach those changes. And I can tell you on the research side, we're doing everything we can to understand those changes and to make sure we keep our research enterprise strong, not only for the cattle industry here in the great state of Florida, but for all our commodities and stakeholders up and down the state. So that's my theme. It's about change, and hopefully students will soon embrace that as they finish their coursework. I think you'll have a great day here. Enjoy the morning program. Get on a tram or people mover and move about the property here in the early afternoon, and go Gators. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to call up Dr. Marcello Wallau. He is the program leader and forage extension specialist.
Thank you, Ali, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in this new role I have. My name is Marcello Wallau. I'm the Associate Program Leader for Ag and Horticulture, working with our Associate Dean, Dr. Mukhtar. He sends you his welcome and his hello, and unfortunately he's not able to come to be here with you today. So I'm also the forage extension specialist, and I'm kind of dreading the next steps as Joan is leaving and there is a big gap to fill here. But I just want to make sure that y'all are feeling confident because you have an excellent group, extension group here at the research station and at with the South Florida Beef and Forage program to support your work. So I just want to mention a few things here, the importance of this station where most of the cattle in Florida is located here around 150 to 200 miles around this station. So the work that's being developed here, both on forage management and development, herd management, soils, watershed, wildlife economics, and all that is essential for supporting our industry. And I'm very excited to see more and more of the work that is being done here. I also want to highlight the work that is being developed by the South Florida Beef and Forage Group, I was doing some quick calculations, directly reaching about a quarter of the cattle in the state. So it's a fantastic work that they have been doing with traditional programs like the forage management, novel programs like the ranching foundations, and also cattle management for women. So this is fantastic work that our extension faculty are doing in each county with support from this research station. Changing gears a little bit, talking about what is coming in extension. I'm very excited. This is not only for UF faculty, but is affecting also our stakeholders. Our dean, Dr. Johnson, has a new pathway for our extension, a new vision, and that's why I'm in this role and I'm working with extension faculty across the state to advance some of those new ideas. And the number one focus is stakeholder engagement, making sure that we're serving you, above all, knowing your needs, understanding the changes, and aligning our work with the current and evolving needs that our stakeholders have. We also want to make sure that we have a good return on investment, because after all, we need to show that for our legislative and also for you taxpayers, to make sure that our work is benefiting everybody, all of you, in generating impact. Last, as a forage specialist here, I would like to recognize my two colleagues that are departing, Dr. Jovan Romini and Dr. Maria Silveira, for their excellent job in extension. I'm sure most of you have interacted with them. I learned so much from them, and I'm still learning every day. And the important thing is that even though that they are leaving, the legacy that they are leaving here is still going to help cattle production in Florida for years to come. I'm very excited for them, for the new career. Very sad to lose colleagues, but with the assurance that we'll continue the good work and also have access to talk to them. Thank you, João and Maria, for the work. Thanks, Brent, for putting this together, and Ali for the intro, and I hope y'all have a great and productive day here.
Thank you, Jerry and Dr. Wallau. Up next, we are pleased to hear from Mr. Dale Carlton. He is the president of the Florida Cattlemen's Association, and he is going to share an update from the association.
Good morning. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Appreciate the invite. Dr. Sellers, Andrea, thank y'all. Thank you for what you do to make this day possible, but also thank you what you do here every day. And your work is much appreciated, and everyone else that's involved. It's a big deal to our industry and our association, and we appreciate it. Moving right along, it's already been touched on. Give y'all an update of what's going on with our state association. So I'll tell you a little story. So about the first week of February, I was having a conversation with myself that, all right, we're through the first part of the year, prices are high, not a whole lot of complaints. Mr. Hanley's still here. In my simple mind, I thought that he would be done after a convention. About a week later, out at MCBA, he called me. He said, Dale, I need to get with you. We've been there all week, and this is right before the board of directors meeting. And I was like, all right, he's going to coach me up on how to vote and make sure I don't mess up. So he calls me off, we go over there, and he hands me his resignation and retirement letter. I wasn't expecting that. So needless to say, things got real interesting here in my last quarter of of my presidency. But what we've done, we put together, the officers and a few past presidents, we put together a committee and we did our due diligence. We went through a process about 5 or 6 weeks long about our best move for the association to keep moving forward that like it has been. And our decision was, as was mentioned earlier, Dusty Holly has promoted up from Director of Field Service. He's our new Executive Vice President in charge of the Florida Cattlemen's Association, Florida Cattlemen's Foundation, the Florida Cowpack, the Florida Cattlemen's Magazine, and the beef, the cattle, the beef, and what I'm lost, I'm just drawing a blank. Y'all bear with me. Beef Cattle Enhancement Board. And then we set the Florida Beef Council. Mr. Hanley was also in charge of that. And at this time, it was an opportunity for us to kind of look back and do some restructuring, because when Mr. Hanley took over in 1997, all that existed was the association and the Beef Council. All those other entities evolved under his leadership. And there's I can't say enough about what an amazing job he has done and the situation that he left us in. He would not leave if we weren't in great shape. And Mr. Hanley had a lot of confidence in the staff he had put together, and he had a lot of confidence in our situation financially. And that's one reason why he was ready to take a break. And so moving forward, Dusty Holly is our new VP. We separated out the Beef Council. We have a new CEO of the Florida Beef Council. Her name is Deanne Maples. She's been working for the Beef Council for about 7 years, and she does a really amazing thing. She's kind of already taken the Beef Council to another level, and she will continue to do that. So we're looking forward to what's ahead of us, to our change, as Ben spoke about earlier. We're excited about it. We feel like this was the best move to keep everything rolling down the track like Mr. Hanley had it going down the track. We'll never fill his shoes. Our encouragement to Dusty and Deanne have been to try to, you're not going to fill his shoes, but you can walk beside him. So we're excited. Actually, yesterday was their official first day, and things are moving forward, and we're looking forward to what's ahead. So that's that, and I'll move on with some updates that we got going on. We about a month ago, we were in Tallahassee for our legislative quarterly. We had a really good few days up there. We got different groups of people in all 120 House offices and all 40 Senate offices. The political climate up there is very much in agriculture's favor right now. We all know that can change, but with our Commissioner of Agriculture, Commissioner Simpson, he's a chicken farmer, but he cares about all of ag, and he really cares about our green space and our cattle. And then our Senate President, Senator Ben Albritton, who's a hometown guy that we're very proud of here in Hardy County, but he also has the same passion for ag. He's a citrus guy, but he also realizes the importance of our cattle industry and all the other ag entities. So we're in good shape there. We're working hard for the Cattle Enhancement Board money. It's looking, I don't want to make any promises because I know the stroke of the governor's pen, it can go away, but right now the House and the Senate both have money in the budget for that. So we're looking pretty good there. I really think it's going to happen, and we'll know more here in the next couple weeks. Just a few other things. One thing that we are doing that we hopefully it gets voted on at our annual convention in Marco. We're in the process of making a new core committee. Having to do a little bylaw change, but we're in the process of making a disaster response and relief committee. It's a no-brainer to me. I think everybody will vote in the right way. But like this past fall, we had 3 direct hits on the state, and actually the Florida Cattlemen Association were the first boots on the ground at each place. We were staged, ready to go. A lot of volunteers. Past President Alex Johns, who also works for the Seminole Tribe of Florida, he is a huge part of that. He does an awesome job of bridging his resources to help out the Cattlemen Association. Really, there's probably nobody else that can do it quite like Alex does. And I know we went up after Helene to the Madison area and the Panhandle, and we touched 25 different places. And our mission is cattle containment and safety, human and animal safety. And we went up there and spent a lot of time just getting perimeter fences, so people keep the cows in off the road. And it was really a great experience just seeing the people how much they appreciate somebody showing up just to help. And it's a very big deal. We have, if it gets voted, and I think it will, and it passes, we have bigger aspirations as we move forward to where it might even go outside the state if there's disasters in other places where we maybe can have some equipment and stuff staged and sitting on ready, so when other states need help, hopefully we can go help them too. So that's something I'm very excited about, and hopefully it gets moved forward down in Marco. One of our initiatives this year is membership drive. In 2019, we had a dues increase And then following it, a very much needed dues increase. It allowed us to add some staff that we needed to make sure that we have a seat at all the tables that we need to be at as an association and an industry. And then in 2020, everybody knows we had COVID. And those two things stacked up on top of each other. Our membership dropped almost 24%. Since then, the bleeding's been stopped. We're on the rise. We're back over 3,000 members, general members. We're up over 125 so far this year, but as everybody knows, our association is very important, and our numbers are very important, and I'm a firm believer that there are strength in numbers. So one of my challenges to y'all is, if y'all know some people that aren't members, try to get them signed up, because we need all the help we can get. And the last thing, and I'll be done, I just want to invite everybody. We got our annual convention in Marco Island, June 24th through the 26th. I'm sure a bunch of y'all will be there, but looking forward to that. And I'll go out, and Rick Moyer will come in. And again, thank y'all for having me, and always remember to stay loyal to the land. Thank you.